Hello everybody, and welcome again to your English class with teacher Blanca Valencia. Today's class will be about the simple past tense. We use the simple past tense when we talk about things that have happened before now. Let's see this timeline. This green line is the time. Today, now, is the present. Anything that happened before now, before today, happened in the past. Something can have happened in the morning, or yesterday, or last week. The simple past is used to talk about things that happened in the past and they were completed before now. Let's see some examples. I prepared a salad in the morning. Right now, it is the afternoon, but I prepared a salad today in the morning. Or, I played video games with my brother yesterday. Not now, but in the past, yesterday, I played video games with my brother and I finished playing. I completed that action. Simple past tense is about things that happened in the past and were completed in the past. These actions that happened and were completed in the past before today can have a long or short duration. That is not important. And these things could happen in a near past, in a short period of time, or in the distant past. Let's see an example. I cut my hair last Wednesday. Today is Friday, but I cut my hair 2 days ago. Another example can be Frida Kahlo lived in Mexico in the last century. It happened a long time ago, but it is not important when we talk about simple past. It can be used for recent actions. I cut my hair 2 days ago, or things that happened many years ago, a long time ago. Frida Kahlo lived in Mexico in the last century. Very well, let's continue. Now, how do we use the simple past tense? We use the simple past tense for actions that happened in the past, before now. For actions that started and finished in the past. These actions are completed. 3. It is not important if the action happened yesterday or in 1955. 4. The duration of this action is not important, but it is important to say in the simple past tense when this action happened. We use the simple past to talk about things that we know when they happened. For example, my grandmother cooked a delicious soup the last weekend. My grandmother cooked a delicious soup last weekend. Or the humans visited the moon in the year 1969. The humans visited the moon in the year 1969. It happened a long time ago, and we know when it happened. the first travel to the moon was last century in the year 1969. When we use the simple past tense, it is very good to have some expressions, some useful time expressions. Let's see some examples. We have the time expression yesterday. The day before now is yesterday. Or last week. Not this week, but last week. Or expressions with the word ago to talk about a period in the past. For example, 2 days ago. Not today, not yesterday, but 2 days ago. 2 days in the past. We will have another class exclusively talking about the past time expressions. Let's see how do we form the simple past tense. Well, we have the regular verbs first. The regular verbs, we only add ed to the base form of the verb. It's the verb in base form plus ed. Let's see some examples. Let's see these 3 verbs. First, the verb walk. Walk, walked. Walk, walked. Then the verb visit. Visit, visited. Visit, visited. And then the verb play. Play, played. Play, played. And now we are going to see some examples of irregular verbs. Irregular verbs are not the same as regular verbs. Their past form changes. Sometimes it changes a little, sometimes it changes a lot. This is a very different word from the original. For example, the base form or present tense of the verb go changes into went in the simple past tense. Go, went. I go to the movies every weekend. I went to the movies last night. Another verb is the verb give. In the present tense is give, in the past tense is gave. Give, gave. And the last example is the verb come. Come in the present tense, the past tense is came. Come, came. These 2 verbs, give and come, do not change very much, but the verb go is a totally different word in the past tense. There are other irregular verbs that are irregular because they don't change in the simple past form. Let's see. For example, the verb cut in the present tense becomes cut in the past tense. It's the same word, cut, cut. Then we have the verb hit. Hit in the present tense, hit in the simple past tense. Hit, hit. And this other verb, the verb cost. Cost in the present tense and cost in the simple past. Cost, cost. I cut my hair every week. I cut my finger last night. He hits the ball very well. He hit the ball very well in the last game. My cell phone cost 3,000 pesos. My cell phone cost 3,000 pesos last month. These are the verbs in its irregular form which do not change. And Why do we call this tense simple? Because it's simple, doesn't need an auxiliary verb to speak in the affirmative form. We only need a subject and a verb in past tense. I walked, you played, he visited. We don't need any other verb, just the subject and the verb in past tense. And now we're going to make some sentences. I walked to buy some watermelon. I walked to buy some watermelon at the supermarket. You played. You played video games with your friends yesterday. You played video games with your friends yesterday. He visited. He visited the pyramids with their family last vacation. He visited the pyramids with their family last vacation. Very well, let's continue. Now with the affirmative form of the simple past tense. And this is how we make an affirmative sentence. First, the subject, they. The verb in simple past form, they walked. In the complement, we usually put the time expressions. The complement is the dogs in the afternoon. Afternoon is the time expression for the past. Let's read the sentence again. They walked the dogs in the afternoon. They walked the dogs in the afternoon. To make the negative form of the simple past, we need an auxiliary verb. That is the verb do in past tense, did. Did is for all the subjects. I did, you did, he did, she did, it did, we did, you did, they did. It never changes. Remember, the auxiliary verb did for the simple past negative form. Now let's see. We have to add the word not to make it negative. It's did plus not. We can say did not, but it's more common to say the contraction, didn't. Did not, didn't. How do we use the auxiliary verb did not, didn't? In a sentence, we put first the subject, then didn't, then the verb goes back to its base form, and at the end our complement. It is not correct to say they didn't walked the dog yesterday. We have to say they didn't walk the dog yesterday. Didn't walk. Do you remember our last sentence? Very well. Let's read it. In negative form, it could be they didn't walk. Notice that the verb is again in its base form. Walk the dog yesterday. They didn't walk the dog yesterday. Walk, not walked. We don't need to use the past tense of verb walk in a negative sentence. Our auxiliary verb did, didn't makes all of our sentence in past tense negative form. The interrogative or question form is formed like this. For the question form, we had to put the auxiliary verb did before the subject. Did plus subject, then again the verb in base form, the complement with the time expression, and the question mark at the end. Let's read this question. Did they walk the dogs last Wednesday? Did they walk the dogs last Wednesday? That is how we form a question in simple past tense. Let's remember that you have to use did, the auxiliary verb did, in negative and interrogative sentences when we use simple past tense. And that is all for today's class. Thank you for your attention. Bye-bye.